America's second gentleman and supposed wife guy, Doug Emhoff, could be further tainted. A new report in the Daily Mail claims that Emhoff was inappropriate and also misogynistic during his tenure as the head of the law firm Venable in Los Angeles.
Josh Boswell said at a 2019 lawsuit alleging Emhoff presided over sex discrimination by other partners. The plaintiff, Marjan Robby, alleges enduring, humiliating and demeaning comments from two partners at Venable. According to court documents, Emhoff allegedly, quote, hired an unqualified part-time model as a legal secretary, quote, because she was young, attractive and friendly with the powerful men in the office. It should be noted Emhoff was not a defendant in the claim, but he was cited in the complaint that Robby filed. This latest allegation is part of a string of questionable incidents that might upend Emhoff's pro-feminist image that he and the Harris campaign have clung onto. Adding to this revelation, the Daily Mail also reported on a 2012 incident that alleges Emhoff struck an ex-girlfriend in the face, and he cheated on his former wife with the nanny 4 years prior in 2008.
So look, I'm not going to make a mountain out of this latest story in the Daily Mail, you know, workplace gripes from a long time ago that we can't really litigate ourselves.
And anonymous sources
Anonymous sources that don't even specifically involve his conduct is not nearly enough for me to form some new or different impression of him. He isn't even the candidate, so, you know, let's not take this too far. I think what it's really an indictment of is honestly not a lot having to do with him, but just the media's insatiable desire to celebrate and uplift this person. Remember the Jen Psaki interview from last week, the fluffiest of fluff interviews, with a former spokesperson for the same administration. So of course it's going to be that way. I mean, expecting that to be journalism is, you know, another thing. But
that was the one where Psaki said he was recasting masculinity or something, right?
What is it? Look, there's some allegations of some scummy behavior in the past. I don't want to make too much of it because some of it is anonymous, some of it is long ago. I think the threshold for these kinds of accusations, now the accusation that he smacked an ex-girlfriend is pretty serious.
Really? Yeah.
But for all of these things, I have always taken the position that, okay, we should listen to people who come forward with Me Too-esque allegations. We should be respectful of them. We should not automatically dismiss them as women were dismissed, in the 80s and 90s and before, etc. That's not good. That doesn't mean every claim deserves automatic belief because people, not women specifically, but all people do lie or engage in deception or even without their own knowledge. We remember events in ways that are more favorable to us. So I always want to be very careful with these things. Now, obviously, the marital stuff is not even denied by him. People have trouble in their marriage, whatever. It's more about how he's been presented to us by the media that it seems a little bit at odds with reality.
So I have several different or contrasting views on this. I'm glad that you distinguished between the allegation that he hit his then girlfriend, this is a long time ago, and the other stuff, because the allegation about striking the ex-girlfriend is very troubling, and the Daily Mail gets sort of lampooned by people, including me, because it's tabloid and prone to that sort of stuff. But they had 3 people who said that the then girlfriend told them immediately or very shortly afterwards that Emhoff had hit her. That is, by its nature, a grave allegation. He didn't respond to comments from the Daily Mail. I believe the campaign did deny it elsewhere. That, to me, is a very different order of magnitude to some of the workplace stuff, which includes kind of people who used to work with him saying he was a bit of an asshole. And, I don't know what that supposedly gets us one way or another. Yeah. That's just not relevant or anything substantive.
And to be clear, that the slapping incident that has been corroborated by several different people, that would be enough to get you expelled from any college campus in America under policies that the Obama administration and the Biden administration forced on college campuses under Title IX. I've done a lot of reporting on that.
Hold on. I think it's fair enough to expel people for assaulting women, wouldn't you say?
Certainly after a procedure where it is. Okay. No. I'm saying the mere accusation would be enough, even if it was years ago, even if there was no evidence of it. I mean, the procedure. Well, yes, of course, you should be expelled if you're but these are not criminal proceedings. I've done a lot of reporting on them in the past. Often the accused is not entitled to an attorney. The standard of evidence is just more likely than not, rather than beyond a reasonable doubt. Oftentimes people are not even made aware of the charges against them. It could be an anonymous accusation from years ago, and you are done. You are screwed. And I don't think that was fair to people in those situations, because I believe in due process, and I believe in the presumption of innocence, and I think you're entitled to what the criminal justice system gets you in a proceeding that is designed to mimic that process. That was not how this was handled by Democratic administrations under guidance they gave to colleges regarding Title IX. I think that was all a mistake. And there was a little bit of a fervor in the kind of Me Too era to relitigate some real wrongs, some real dismissals, and some treating people who had accusations in a cruel way, which I think was absolutely wrong. But it went too far, and then this all went out the window the second Joe Biden got accusations, and then it was like, well, how much can we really say that about the Tara Reade one was a very serious accusation from a long time ago. Now it did have some contemporary evidence at the time. She told a mother who told a radio. There was other people who had heard at the time. Now I'm saying, look, we should listen to this woman, and you should treat her very seriously. And we've interviewed her on Rising. We talked about it. If I was inclined to vote for Joe Biden, would I change my mind based on something from 20 years ago that doesn't have a beyond a reasonable doubt kind of evidence to it? No, I think that's absolutely fair. But that was not the standard that was being preached at us by activists on this issue.
So I think there is a legitimate point for sure about double standards and the way they are used in the political arena. Donald Trump has numerous allegations of admittedly varying severity about inappropriate and sometimes assault against women. And he, like anyone, is entitled to the presumption of innocence. But Biden has the Tara Reade thing. Bill Clinton, I'm showing my age here, but I mean, there was a completely credible accusation of rape made against Bill Clinton. And that is something that is sort of dismissed or minimized by people who agree.
Juanita Broaddrick.
Yes, Juanita Broaddrick, exactly.
Yeah. And there was so much against Clinton, it kind of all gets lumped together under the Lewinsky stuff, which was, inappropriate workplace conduct, but was a... Yeah, I mean, you can argue it because he's the boss, and it's not. But the Juanita Broaddrick accusation is full-on rape.
Right. No, absolutely, and it was minimized wrongly by people who liked Bill Clinton's politics, and I think that the right also does that with Trump and with other people when there are accusations of assault or impropriety or worse against them. So I think the point is there needs to be a universal standard about this stuff, and too often people, whatever side they're on, tend to do the yes, but thing if the allegation is made against someone on their side. And I wouldn't defend that at all.
Yeah, very much so. All right, we'll have more Rising right after this.